Welcome to Bryer Showcase. I'm Bryer and welcome back to another video. It's winter, it's freaking cold. Let's talk about some winter themed album covers. Well, then again, it's technically not winter yet here in Southern California, and also there are places that are way colder than Southern California, but we'll roll with it. So in this video, I'm going to be showcasing some album covers that remind me of the winter season. And surprisingly, I didn't have that many of them, but it's a fair amount, so I'm just going to go through them. I'm just going to talk briefly on each one. So let's get started. So the first one, I'm actually not sure if it's actually winter or not, but I mean, it looks like it could be. So I'm talking about Camel Mood Madness, which I've shown a couple times on the channel. And again, I'm not sure if it's actually winter, but it has the colors that remind me of winter. You have the light blues. It's pretty white, a little bit of light pink. The only thing that kind of doesn't really say that it's winter is that there's like a little lake or pond there. You can see little fish jumping out. Who knows? Maybe it's a hot spring or whatever. I don't know, I'm just guessing. So again, this could possibly not be winter, but to me, it has a winter vibe. I don't know. Again, it could just be me, but that's what I get. So you can disagree with me if you want, but yeah, it reminds me of winter. So next one, this is my only Christmas album I have in the collection, and I showed this fairly recently as well, and that's Celine Dion, These Are Special Times. I mean, I gotta have a Christmas album in this batch because Christmas, winter, they just go hand in hand. So you just have Celine holding a little present there. Simple, but it gets the point across. All right, so when it comes to winter and music, I usually tend to listen to during this time of year is a lot of black metal, and again, black metal is not for everybody, but certain album covers have a certain chill to them, whether it's because of the production or just because they have a vibe, because a lot of the big black metal acts came from Norway, which is pretty cold, and so many covers kind of reflect that sort of frigid region. So the one I'm going to show first, and this is not the only black metal album I'm going to be showing in this video, but we have Under a Funeral Moon by Dark Throne, and yep, pretty chilling, I must say. If we just ignore the figure in the center, like the bare trees of it, I don't know, it always reminds me of the cold season, especially here in Southern California. We don't get snow here, but you get a lot of bare trees. So yeah, I think this reminds me of winter, and again, has that lo-fi, very icy production. Just makes you feel like you're in a blizzard. So yeah. And it's one of my favorite black metal albums. Here's another black metal album cover. We have Emperor in the Night Side Eclipse. Again, this could possibly be winter, but I can see arguments saying it's not. But again, has a very icy vibe to it, mainly because of the trees in the back, because they look like trees you'd see during like in a snowy season. But it's a pretty cool album cover. Yeah, no, there's no like big picture of it, but yeah, pretty cool, I must say. And here's the third black metal album in a row. This band's called Fear of Eternity, and this is their album Spirit of Sorrow. And the big reason why this reminds me of winter is mainly because of the very back, because as you can see, there's a ton of fog in the back, and that's something we also get here in Southern California. Not too often, but certain days, certain times of the day, usually in the morning, we get a pretty good amount of fog, which reflects the cooler temperatures, and even the back also has a ton of fog. So nice. And then we have Fleetwood Mac, rest in peace Christine McVie again. We have their album Bare Trees. Pretty much the same reason as the last one. You have a lot of the fog, and again, the bare trees. Again, very much reminds me of a winter here in California. But yeah, it's also, there's something very peaceful, I must say. I know some people can look at these types of covers and say, oh, it's so depressing, kind of dreary. But to me, I always find peace in this sort of setting. I don't know, that could be just me. But yeah, it's kind of peaceful. You know, you're in nature. You're kind of engulfed in this cloud. I mean, technically, fog is kind of like you're in a cloud almost. But yeah, there's something peaceful. Again, that's just me, but you know, comment below if you agree or not. Okay, I talk about this band very frequently. And of course, it's Genesis, and this is their album, Wind and Wuthering. Again, got the whole fog scene. Again, very white. Again, I really like the vibe on this album cover. It's not my favorite Genesis album, but I really do love the album artwork on this one, and even on the back. Again, you have this bare tree, and then you have all these birds. You can interpret like they're migrating from the cold to warmer weather. So let me just see. You can actually take out the full artwork, I think. They don't quite match up, but that's what it looks like. All right, I'd say we're almost halfway already. This is probably not going to be a long video. Next, we have another black metal album, and let me just check. And yeah, this is the last black metal album I'll be showing. We have Immortal, At the Heart of Winter. I mean, it has winter in the name, so naturally it's going to be featured here. So yeah, you have this kind of, I don't know, looks like a prison of some sort, and it's kind of surrounded in this ice wasteland. Yeah, and this is probably my favorite black metal album as of right now. Pretty cool. Again, it still has that kind of the black metal standards that you come to know, but still has some thrash elements to it that really helps me really get into this album a lot more. Because again, if you like thrash, you like Metallica or Megadeth, and mix that with black metal, and you have a pretty good combination. Then again, why am I talking about the music when I'm talking about the album covers? I don't know why. Just to give this video more substance, I think. I don't know. But still, cool album cover. One of my favorite bands, we have Iron Maiden, and I went with the Seventh Son of the Seventh Son. And here, of course, you have Eddie in the center here, and again in this kind of Iceland, a lot of icebergs in the back, very blue, which again, when it comes to winter, I usually associate with white, blue, that sort of thing. And here on the back, you have Eddie, looks like he's bursting out of an iceberg. You see the back, and I can actually show the full artwork on this one. Here's the full artwork. I've said this before, but this is the album that got me into Iron Maiden, or it really cemented my love for the band. I've heard Number of the Beast first, but this was the album that kind of cemented my love for Iron Maiden. Okay, I've shown this one not that long ago. This is Kate Bush. This is 50 Words for Snow. And you have a woman making out with a snowman. Yeah, that's normal. So yeah, this whole album can be like, I guess this whole album is like a Christmas album. Kinda, not really. It doesn't really have, it's not very Christmassy. Kind of has a more down tone to it. Not quite cheery, but pretty decent album. It's not my favorite of hers, but still pretty decent. It's more jazzy. You have a lot of piano-led stuff, and Elton John guest stars on the song, so that's interesting. But yeah, pretty good. And it comes in a nice hard book. There's what it looks like. Let me just show more of the artwork inside. We have a much close-up shot of these two. These two lovebirds. I'm not one to judge. Just a few more pages. Last page. There you have it. Let's keep going. We're already over halfway, so we're almost done here. Just a few more to go. How many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more to go. Okay, Opeth, Blackwater Park. Kind of hard to tell what's going on here, but again, we got a lot of fog. Looks like it's, it looks like a Cold's place. And the back cover, again, very foggy. All right, and this one was kind of last minute. I was kind of going through one more time, and I was like, oh my god, this perfectly sums up winter, at least for me. Of course, here in Southern California, we don't get snow like I mentioned before, but we do get a pretty good amount of rain. Not a lot, but this is usually the wettest season. Don't take that out of context. But anyhow, so I went out and got this one out. I've shown this on the short recently. Still has one of the worst CD packagings in my collection, but it's still a good album. We have Peter Gabriel with his first solo album, or Car, if that's what you want to call it. And again, as you can see, a lot of rain, and you have Peter in the car. Again, kind of really reminds me of a typical San Diegan winter, with the rain coming down. On the back, yeah, it still has that, still another angle of Peter in the car. Again, still can't get over this. All right, Rush, Test for Echo. You have this rock formation, and it looks like there's snow on the ground, so it counts. Don't have much else to say. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. It's not my favorite Rush album, but album cover's kind of interesting. Pretzel Logic by Steely Dan. You have this guy in New York, all bundled up, trying to stay warm in the cold New York City, just selling hot pretzels. Pretty fitting. I never had a hot pretzel before. I am ashamed to admit that. Maybe one day though. And here's more on the back. Supertramp, even in the quietest moments. And here you have a piano. Oh shoot, I nearly dropped it. That's the most exciting part of this whole video. Anyhow, so we have a piano in like, I don't know where exactly, maybe the Alps, maybe the Rocky Mountains, somewhere where it's very snowy, but you just have this piano in the mountain range, just covered in snow. I really do like this. I realized there's a little bit of spit on the cover because when I dropped it, but yeah. Pretty cool. There's the back. Okay, last two. Okay, this one I'm going to say briefly because, I've talked about this album enough. We have, yes, Relayer. It just sums it up. So much white into it. I think this has the full artwork because it's definitely one of my favorite Roger Dean artworks. Very cool. And there's some more artwork inside. Of course, you have this little bug thing. Hopefully you can see that. And then you have this ice palace, ice castle. Eat your heart out, Elsa. So, yep. Again, I've talked about this album a lot, so I'm just going to keep moving and let's just talk about the last one. All right, this one kind of just barely made it here because it looks like, it's another Yes album, and I went with Drama. And again, it just barely squeaked into it because it looks like there's a big glacier in the background. Yeah, looks like a giant ice glacier. You have the forefront, which is not covered in snow, but you know, iceberg, cold, makes sense to me. Might be stretching it. I don't know, it's my video. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, so in total this was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. So just 17 winter themed albums in my collection. So in the comments below, let me know your thoughts on these covers, and also if there's some that I did not show, feel free to leave them below in the comments. Some of your favorites, or just some ones you just really like. I don't know where I'm going with this. This was kind of like this idea was kind of like I thought this video idea would be fun. Hopefully this was, but there you go. Thank you very much for watching. Again, if you enjoyed this, please give it a like, subscribe if you are new, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, and goodbye for now.